Okay, so what I was saying was is maybe some comparisons here between China and Russia, where the value and stability is maintained, where this is something that, people will accept authoritarianism, they'll accept one party rule in the name of stability, and that will continue for much of the 20th century. So the Porfiriato is a time that is characterized by pretty good economic growth for Mexico. It's characterized by foreign investment. However, there is a growing gap between rich and poor during his leadership. So in 1910, there's another revolution to end the dictatorship. This ends up turning into a full-blown civil war, where you have, different people, different strong men who are competing for power. These strong men were called caudillos, and they challenged one another. Some of the names, which I know you've probably heard in American history, include Emiliano Zapata, who led the peasant revolt, in the central and southern parts of the country, and Francisco or Pancho Villa led the revolt in the north. You can kind of see their different priorities, whereas Zapata, was kind of calling for agrarian reform, more rights for the farmers in the south. Pancho Villa, was really sort of took a more militaristic approach in the north. In 1917, the Mexican Constitution. Okay. Okay. In 1917, the Mexican Constitution was created out of these diverse or conflicting factions from the revolution. And some of the things it did, it included that agrarian reform that was called for by Zapata. It included Social Security, the right for unions to organize, minimum wage, an 8-hour workday, universal secular education, and suffrage for adult males. It also limited the power of foreign investors, so saying that only Mexican citizens and the government could own land or rights to other natural resources. So Mexico's trying to sort of strengthen themselves at this point. It also attempted to limit the power of the Catholic Church. So at this time, or up to this point, clergy members, priests had been very involved in Mexican politics, very vocal, and this sought to limit them by putting in some clauses about anti-clericalism, saying we don't want the church to be present in politics. There should be a separation between church and state. So during this time, we saw the establishment of the dominant party for many years in Mexico, the PRI party. So you won't have to know his name, but Plutarco Elias Calles forms the Institutional Revolutionary Party, or PRI party, and it came up with the idea that each president could have one 6-year term, the sexenio, and that is still in place today. Every president serves one 6-year term only. There's no possibility for re-election. What we have now is just a series of kind of prominent leaders in Mexican history. So from 1934 to 40, Lázaro Cárdenas was in place. Some things that he put into place, he did some land reform. So again, he was kind of trying to even out this gap between rich and poor. So he created collective land grants to make sure that more people had access to land and could make money from it. He nationalized the oil industry into Pemex, which still exists today. He invested in public works and started something called import substitution industrialization. So what this is, it's written there for you, but it's high tariffs to protect locally produced goods from foreign competition, giving government ownership of key industries and government subsidies to domestic industries. So it's trying to boost anything produced in Mexico to protect Mexican production versus foreign production. All right, so again, just some highlights here in history. Can you get it? Can you get it? You want to say hi to my students?
But how? I can't see their faces.
I know. We're just doing a recording. Do you want to say hi? Say hi.
Hi.
That's Ben. Ben's going to go have what are you going to have?
Mickey ice cream.
He's going to have a Mickey ice cream sandwich. All right. Can you get it yourself?
Yeah.
All right, great. Good job.
Both like wings too.
Okay, go. That sounds good. Okay, so rapid development of Mexico from 1940 to